Welcome back to Muscular Dystrophy Warrior. Just like the last video, in every video, a moment of silence for all the fallen warriors who sadly lost the battle to muscular dystrophy. Sending prayers to all those families who have lost someone with muscular dystrophy. Today, I'm honored to welcome the Walton family to Muscular Dystrophy Warrior. Their son Riley was diagnosed last May with a form of muscular dystrophy caused by deletion involving exons 49 through 51. At this time, Riley is displaying symptoms that appear more consistent with Becker muscular dystrophy, but his family may not have a clear understanding how his condition will progress and for the next several years. During this conversation, we'll discuss Riley's diagnosis, what his family experienced during that process, how they are navigating the uncertainty, and the hopes they have for Riley's future. Thank you to the Walton family for being here and willing to share Riley's story and help bring awareness to Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy and the uncertainty many families experience after muscular dystrophy diagnosis. Thank you guys for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Alright, guys, first question. Before we discuss Riley's diagnosis, can you tell us a little bit about him and his personality?
Yeah. He's 5, gonna be 6 soon, and he is the most charismatic, intelligent, carefree little boy. He is so fun and just enjoyable to be around and super inquisitive for his age.
He likes to ask all sorts of questions. Big in the why we why is the sky blue? But why? That's
Uh,
That's
his
the
big.
phase we're in right now.
Um, and he just loves his Mario Party Nintendo Switch. He plays
okay.
that. He's very competitive, and he loves winning.
He loves playing and running outside, and he's very into God and Jesus and wanting to ask everybody who they love. And he's a very sweetheart. He's very kind and sweet. I could say 100 million things about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like. Alright, what first made you or Riley doctors realize that something might be different with his health or development? Was it did you guys notice something? Doctors saw something, or how did that happen?
We probably have a really unique story in comparison to everybody else who finds out their diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually pregnant with our fourth kiddo when I found out.
Uh,
Our when I was pregnant with Riley, we did the genetic testing, and then we were stationed in Japan for Kristen's job with my other pregnancy. So
mm-hmm.
during that time, we never did genetic testing. It wasn't really an option. And so when I got
Right.
pregnant with our kiddo Scotty, they offered genetic testing, and we said yes. And then through that, found out that I was a carrier of DMD. And then I was a biology teacher prior to my job now, so I immediately was like, oh, this is on the X chromosome. That means 50-50 chance, our son that we already have has this. So I immediately called the pediatrician and we got him in for testing, and then that's how we found out. And they called us and told us that his creatine kinase levels were really high. And so we went through the process of getting him formally tested and it came back that I had passed. And obviously,
Yeah, the gene. Can you take us back to the appointment and testing that eventually led to his diagnosis?
Yeah, so we went up to the closest muscular dystrophy clinic, which is like 3 hours from us,
Mm-hmm.
in Albuquerque, and we were up there, and the geneticist was real kind, and she was like, "He doesn't display symptoms," and even then they were hesitant, and what it looked like for us is basically for him having to do a cheek swab. And then they had to draw a little blood for the CK levels.
Mm-hmm.
We got the CK level results like the next day. They were well above normal. So that was our first indication. But that was when it kind of started to set in, and that's when he had muscular dystrophy.
When we first took him to the pediatrician and just kind of told them like, oh, hey, I got my genetic testing back. Like, I would like to get my son tested. They like gave a lot of pushback of like, well, he doesn't display like the symptoms like most kids because he wasn't like behind on any of his major milestones, but he also wasn't like excelling at anything like walking and
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Yeah.
And he like toe walked. He definitely displayed like some symptoms, but they were like those kids that we see with this, it's a lot like worse. So like we don't feel like he needs to be tested. And I was like, no, no, no. Like I know I am a carrier, so we have to test. And so
Yeah.
even Christina mentioned the geneticist was kind of like, we actually don't expect anything to come back. So I think it was kind of a bit of a shock for us with all the doctors telling us that they didn't think it would be an issue.
Right. Yeah, I heard some cases like that. They're like, no, he's fine. Just let him see what happens. And it's like, why take that long? Why do it like quick?
Yeah, they definitely mentioned that too. They're like, well, most kids don't find out till they're older, or like you could wait. Or like, I don't see the purpose in like, waiting for something.
Right.
Let's just find out.
Right. What went through your minds when you learned that Riley had a deletion involving exons 49 through 51? Because I know it's not like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of
Years.
fear and kind of worst case scenario because we'd looked into what it looks like on the worst case scenario and
Mm-hmm.
mourning the worst case scenario for the future. That he wouldn't get to do normal things and do like normal kid stuff. And I think it was just the mourning of like that future, what could be. Um, but then kind of finally, you know, learn like just with each appointment, learning more about what it is.
It's not.
It's not what we thought it was.
Yeah, I think the rush immediately of like finding out and like the worst thing to do is like Google.
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
just like think you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the fear of that I think was more overwhelming. And also like the geneticist was amazing and she was very kind. And she was very like factual when she gave us the information. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this is the percentage of kids who end up in a wheelchair. This is the percentage of kids who end up like, they were prognosis. And it was very like, I don't know, kind of like put you in a wave of like, is that like what our future looks like? So it was more fear, I think, when we got the initial of like, what does now his childhood, consist of? And I think as time has gone on, I realize that's not the reality, but
Yeah.
in that moment, it felt like that.
Yeah. You have shared that Riley is currently displaying more in line with Becker. What signs have made his medical teams feel like that way?
Um, I think it's just is uh, the test where you get on your back
Start.
to get onto your feet. Uh, that test they haven't seen as rapid as a decline as you expect on the Duchenne side. And just for him able to like continue walking and playing, and a lot of his like calf muscle integrity, like muscle integrity, still seems to be in really decent shape. Um, what we've like gathered, and then with they wanted to continue to like move our appointments. Like we wanted to do them every 3 months, and then they were like, "Well, we're good for annual appointments at this time." And just as concerned parents, we don't want
We weren't ready for
we weren't
that.
for that.
So,
Yeah.
So just
Mm-hmm.
being able to be confident in the frequency of the appointments. But with your deletion, they said it's like pretty rare. I think there's five others that have the exact same deletion as Riley, at least in the registry when he got his test.
there's
Mm-hmm.
3 of them that are asymptomatic. So
Yeah,
they do feel like
Uh,
there's a huge potential that he could be in line with that. He does have symptoms, and he wears AFOs at night, and
mm-hmm.
he does have like for a while he can get up like walk up twisted, but just where he's at right now, I feel like he's in line with like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I see. How do you balance staying informed about the future while also allowing Riley to enjoy being a child today?
You broke up there, Alfonso. We didn't hear
I hear you at the very end.
Yeah, sorry about that. How do you balance staying informed about the future while also allowing Riley to enjoy being a child today?
you. We honestly just rely on the guidance of the doctors and his PT.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've talked about is like he can do normal kids stuff, but you just have to limit him a little bit for duration.
I guess just
Um,
trusting that you know him
yeah,
the best and like know what he can and can't like manage in the day to day. And so
Mm-hmm.
like he right now he plays like works with the other kids, and so we can see like okay, this is when he's gone
he's
too
gone
far
to
or
he's approaching that, you
like
know,
his threshold. And so
having that good relationship with the
his physical therapist.
physical therapist, but more importantly, like his coaches, making them aware like that he has muscular dystrophy, and that when he gets tired and we get like the signal from the sideline to his parents, like, you just got to pull it for questions asked, like whether he's doing well or not.
Right.
It's affecting his ability further on.
Mm-hmm. What appointments, treatments, therapies, or routines are currently part of Riley's care?
Right now, we attend weekly physical therapy appointments, which he has an awesome physical therapist who we didn't have a really good relationship with, and Riley also has a good relationship with. So that's, I think, our biggest advocate
Mhm.
and our like most important therapy that we participate in. And then he also wears the ankle foot orthotics
Every night.
every single night. And
Mm-hmm.
then right now we travel 7 hours to Colorado on like a twice a year, so every 6 months. We travel up there, and then he obviously participates with his multidisciplinary. Right now, he isn't on any like corticosteroids or anything in that realm.
No.
He
Okay.
has done a little bit of um, why am I blanking? Occupational
Oh yeah.
therapy. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has done a little bit of occupational therapy, but our like day to day or like our week to week is primarily the PT and the AFOs, and then just we do keep like a log of
His
how
fall.
yeah how much how often he falls, how he's feeling, what he does in a day that like causes him to fatigue or not be able to like feel great or perform the next day. So those are the biggest things, and then keeping track of with his sisters and like other
Yeah.
people in my life that help with that. So those are the biggest.
Yeah, and then I think in November when he has his next appointment, they're going to do a neuropsych eval.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we found out that it's pretty common for um, MD men to have ADD or ADHD.
OCD and then
Yeah.
ADD and ADHD. So that was something that Riley, I guess, displayed signs of when we did his last appointment. So we'll be doing like a 2 day appointment when we go up in November.
Yeah, I see. Has Riley begun to understand anything about his
Oh no.
diagnosis? And how do you explain to him
You broke up again. I'm so sorry.
yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't know what's going on. Has Riley begun to understand anything about his diagnosis?
Oh, it's
And
like
how do you,
that.
Oh yeah, there's no. There. Wait.
can you hear me
Oh.
guys or no?
Uh, okay, wait, we can hear you now.
Yeah, you guys can hear me now or
Okay.
no?
How do we
All
fix
right,
that?
now
There
we
we
can hear
go.
you. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It does that sometimes. All right, where were you? Hold on a minute. Has Riley begun to understand anything about his diagnosis and how do you explain it to him in an age appropriate way? Or does he ask any questions, anything? Or not yet? Like little
I think
kids?
he's aware of his diagnosis,
Yeah.
but I don't think he understands the weight of it yet. Um,
We do have that's actually something we forgot. He does have a counselor that
Oh,
we see every Tuesday.
yeah.
Yeah, he sees weekly. And so we have an awesome like counselor who helps with us with the ability of how we communicate with him, what do we talk about. And then obviously the multidisciplinary team provides a social worker that helped us kind of come
discuss
up
with
with
him,
an age appropriate conversation,
and
and then the parent project.
yep, PPMD. Um, what we've said to him is just that his muscles are special, um, and that he just is a little bit weaker. Is what we said to him.
Yeah,
Uh,
they just need a little bit
a
more
little bit more
love.
love and
Yeah.
just a little bit more rest than other kids. So
But
Okay.
he is aware, and we talk about it when he gets really tired, or and
and
he's
I think
mentioned it before.
I think the hardest one was probably a month or so ago. He asked, "Do I have to wear my AFOs every night?" We said, "Yeah." Um,
Uh,
that one was tough because I think that was the realization that he's like, "This isn't going away."
right. What has been the most difficult part of his journey since receiving that diagnosis?
I think it was the unknown because when we first got Riley's diagnosis, they didn't know like where he fell on the spectrum, which is still kind of where we're at, whether
Yeah,
it was like Becker's or EMD. And so that like as parents, we felt like we were really searching for like answers, and nobody could like give them to us. They were just like, well, we don't know. He could be like fine and not, develop like the deteriorating muscles like quickly, might not progress quickly, or he could be like asymptomatic, but they like couldn't tell us.
and they still can't
They
tell
still can't, but I think that was a really hard like pill to swallow as parents of like, so we just like sit back and wait.
us.
And so like being told that you need to sit back and not do anything was the biggest challenge for us during that time.
Yeah. What has given your family the most strength, comfort, or hope?
Yeah,
Yeah, our
honestly,
relationship with the Lord.
yeah, and it's just all in all part of the plan.
Yeah, that really has a plan for his life, no matter what.
Hmm.
And it's better than what we could imagine. And I just have to go to bed.
Yeah,
Okay. Have you been able to connect with other Duchenne or Becker families, and does that support been helpful?
Yeah, we're in a really rural city, or town. I don't really say.
yeah,
We're in a really rural location in due to Tristan's job. So we haven't physically gotten to really meet a lot of families, but it has been pretty cool. We started a social media um, page in the process of actually running with the Muscular Dystrophy Association for the Chicago Marathon in October, and started raising money like for the MBA. And through starting that social media page, we ended up like getting connected with a lot of other families and moms and people who were also like fighting the same battle fighting. So that has been a cool thing to kind of see how the internet and social media has brought us a community.
Yeah, it has been a huge difference, and stuff. What do you wish more people understood about families who are waiting to see how a muscular dystrophy diagnosis may progress?
it's for those families that are
Mhm.
in the unknown. It's just an enjoy the time while you have. Each day that we got to go to like a children's museum with him today, and he was able to play and run around, and the pace of that was really good to where he didn't get too tired. So just enjoying that because it could be a day where he doesn't have that energy or ability to do that anymore. Uh, and for the people who are unaware of what it is, that being informed of what it is for the first time, that it may not present and show that he has a genetic disorder and that there's something wrong. Um, but you know, making sure that it's like we can't push him like a normal kid to the max extent um, on things because it could cause that detrimental issues and just having other people be okay with that, kind of being the more active parent when it comes to like the kid playing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Well,
parents who are going through, sorry, go ahead. You're good.
Yeah, all right. What moments or accomplishments or parts of Riley's personality make you especially proud of him?
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Riley does not accept no. He'll fight CMD and he'll fight this as, thinking now he's just very much,
Well,
um,
take no for an
he's
answer.
not going to take no for an answer. And I am proud of, he knows who he is, even at the age of 5, and he's strong willed and he's charismatic and he's loving. And I know that my biggest pride in him is that he's not going to stop.
No,
And he's,
we'll get to a yes.
and he's still going to, I think, glorify the Lord in doing that, especially
Okay. What are your greatest hopes for Riley as he grows older?
Yeah.
and enjoy every high and every low. And not just the highs, but he gets to experience like to its fullest potential in whatever capacity. So,
Okay.
falling in love, getting heartbreak,
Yeah.
like getting to have children, experiencing pain with your spouse, experience love. I hope that he gets to feel it all.
Yeah, I hope he does too. All right, guys. Last question. What message would you like to share with another family that has recently received a Duchenne or Becker or uncertain muscular dystrophy diagnosis?
That it's not the end of a childhood. It's like the beginning of learning to live in the now and the present. And that it may feel like you're drowning in water when you first find out, but it brings you a sense of community and onto that and grasp onto those moments, because as you do, there'll be more and more every day that you'll get to enjoy and love that maybe other parents may not get to see the simplest things like walking up the stairs with such an accomplishment or running around and ball. I feel like we enjoy seeing our son do that more than maybe others do because we look at it through a
Okay.
His
perspective.
diagnosis, but your son didn't change like overnight. He's still same kiddo. He's not going to know much different. And it's a slow progression. Um, so getting to just enjoy all those little things is what I would say.
Find a great community, find people who can help support you on the days that you can't, and keep your trust in.
Okay, thank you to the Walton family for trusting me with Riley's story. A diagnosis involving Duchenne or Becker muscular dystrophy can bring many questions, especially when a family does not yet know exactly how the condition will progress. Riley is much more than a diagnosis or a genetic deletion. He is a child with his own personality, strength, accomplishments, and future. By sharing their experience, the Walton family is helping other families feel less alone, bringing awareness to muscular dystrophy and the uncertainty that can come with a new diagnosis. Thank you again for joining me and for allowing my audience to learn more about Riley's and your family's journey. Continue raising awareness, supporting families, and creating hope for everyone affected by any form of muscular dystrophy. And like always, MD Warrior out. Until next time.